Well, because in the one context, there's not really any suggestion behind it. In the other context, it's usually brought up when people are making conspiratorial claims against Jews, and it's related to racism. When you say something like there's a lot of black people in the NBA, like there's no conspiratorial claim behind it. It's probably just because there's more black people that have like genes and a body type that is, conducive to being good at basketball. Whereas when people fucking say there's a lot of Jews in finance or the entertainment industry or anything like that, it's usually in a context where they're making some kind of conspiratorial claim that Jews are trying to like rule the world or something. Thanks for the nation question.
Cost effective, especially when you're getting your healthy food from Good Ranchers. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this summer
Yeah, so if you want to ruin your health, have worse skin, and like support a Holocaust, yeah, you definitely want to eat more meat. But if you want to be a good, sensible person who doesn't want to murder innocent animals and doesn't want to fuck up your health, yeah, eat more fruits and vegetables.
make all of us
Idiot.
more beautiful, which is the point of this
I
episode.
really wish I could debate her.
Anyway,
I wonder. Let me see. She might be naive enough. I'll email her and try to see. Veganism debate. Hello, I run the YouTube channel Vegan Gains, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in debating the ethical principles of veganism, along with related topics like health and fitness. I think that would maybe be good enough. I normally host debates over either Discord or Zoom and broadcast them live. Email me back if you're interested. And if you're uncomfortable with live debates, I'd also be willing to just debate privately. There we go. Probably not going to hear anything back, but we'll see. She might be naive enough to think, vegans are dumb, sure.
This article is not the only one talking about this. In 2017, a team of researchers studied this with men, diet quality and the attractiveness.
Today, I didn't know that QAnon was anti-Semitic and that the term deep state refers to the conspiracy that Jews control everything. Also, only 0.2% of the world population is Jewish, 16 mil out of 8 bill.
Yeah, QAnons are usually racist. I don't think the term deep state necessarily implied being Jewish. It was this idea that, and I think Trump was the one who came up with this. He has this idea that, there are people like presidents who can only serve, terms of 4 to 8 years. But there are people within government who can have lifelong careers that hold like really important, significant office. So when you're talking about people who can influence presidents that can have, who can work in that office for 40, 50 years, they have more power ultimately than a lot of presidents. And he has some issues with people holding like office for that long who have that kind of political power and are influencing the country in a negative way. That's the way Trump presented it, and these QAnon conspiracy theorists added, this racist, anti-Semitic shit to it as well, and they also believe there's like this child rapist cult within the U.S. government. They're fucking crazy. Thanks for the donation, though, Bend Over.
Of the male body odor. And do not laugh, because odor is important. Like women, if you do not like how your man naturally smells, you do not want to have children with him. You probably should not be with him. That is scientifically backed. And if you are on birth control, how you smell changes. So get off of it, see if you like how he smells, and then decide. Anyway, the men who were the healthiest, who ate the healthiest, worked out the most, apparently had the best natural.
So that's not true. Birth control does not affect how women perceive male attractiveness. There's this idea that if you're menstruating and ovulating, you're going to prefer men who are like more feminine and shit because you want somebody who will be there for you emotionally or something, because it like mimics pregnancy. That idea is fucking bullshit, because most of the time women aren't fucking ovulating. So when you're talking about only a few days out of the month where that might even have an effect, it's just stupid, and it's not supported by any evidence.
Question: when a woman says no, does that mean yes? If not, what else could it mean?
Well, if you're in Japan, that could be the case. A lot of Japanese girls like have fetish play where they pretend to have a lack of consent. But yeah, in most cases, unless it's fetish play, you should consider a no as a no and a yes as a yes. Thanks for the donation, Drake. Yeah, there are some birth controls that lower sex drive for women, but it doesn't actually change partner preference.
Natural musk, and they were ranked more attractive by the female judges in the study. Here's another piece measuring the.
So let's actually, I think I know the study she's talking about. I think it actually linked to more plant-based diets.
You like how he smells, and then decide. Anyway,
Where?
In turn, more beautiful. Only one talking about this. In 2017, a team of researchers studied this with men. Diet quality in the.
This is the paper. Yeah. Human auxiliary sweat may provide information pertaining to genetic relatedness and health status. Significant contributor to good health, both in short and long term, is a diet rich in fruit and vegetables. In the study, we tested whether dietary fruit and vegetable intake, assessed indirectly by skin spectrophotometry, assessing dietary carotenoid intakes, and subjectivity by food frequency questionnaire, was associated with more pleasant smelling sweat. So yeah, this is the study that showed eating a more plant-based diet is associated with better body odor. Self-reported dietary data revealed that fat, meat, egg, and tofu intake were associated with more pleasant smelling sweat. Really? Meat, egg, and tofu. That's really bizarre. Greater carbohydrate intake with stronger smelling, less pleasant sweat. That's really strange still. Meat intake. That's weird. Anyway, strange that tofu would make your sweat smell better. Anyway, they did find that a higher fruit and vegetable intake improves body odor.
Well, that is true. Jewish people helped to found the studios that still exist today. MGM. equals Metro Goldwyn Mayer WB equals Warner Brothers. The name was an anglicization of.
Yeah, there are some theories as to why these companies are mostly run by Jewish people, and it seems like it's because of segregation, where a lot of there was a lot of anti-Semitism, and Jews basically just had to work within their own communities to develop these media companies, and they just happened to be successful at it. And again, because of things like nepotism, generational wealth, and things, a lot of these companies are just still largely run by Jewish people. It's not like some weird fucking conspiracy that Jews are trying to run the world. But thanks for the donation, Caleb. Or sorry, Sam.
The adrenochrome conspiracy theories spread not only by canoners but average whack jobs is actually a spin-off of Christian blood libel conspiracies that Jewish people sacrificed Christian children for their religion. They just generalized it to elites.
Yeah, I know in I think it was like ISIS did a similar thing. I think it was ISIS or some other terrorist group. They were also claiming that Jews kill and eat children to make motz or matzah soup. So this has been around for a while, and yeah, the QAnon thing is just a variation of that stupid bullshit. Thanks for the nation, Caleb. Cute Gains and Nutellers. Humans are definitely intelligent apes, and these are our brethren. Let me see. Yeah, silverbacks are pretty fucking terrifying animals. I would not want to be around gorillas, especially silverbacks. Yeah, if a gorilla was looking at me like that, I'd probably give him fruit and so he likes me. Dude, they can tear you the fuck apart. Like, their arms are so huge. Imagine arm wrestling a gorilla. I think they could literally rip your arms off if they wanted to. It'd be cool if in the future they had technology that could actually give you, like, gorilla genetics so you could build as much muscle mass as them. Yeah, but holy fuck, they're massive. Oh. Yeah, just don't look them directly in the eyes because it's seen as a sign of aggression, so just don't look at them in the eyes. And keep your head down. If you're ever with a gorilla or chimpanzee. Oh, she's having a juice box. Orangutans are pretty funny. That looks like a tourist attraction kind of zoo. So I don't know how I feel about that. But orangutans are very smart. I've been to the zoo as a kid, and you can like play with orangutans and hold your hand up to the glass and they'll like copy you and stuff. Explanation, Cute Gains. Booty Cum donated $2. Let me see.
2 Flagler County police officers make their way to a home in Florida to investigate reports of screaming. However, they could have never predicted the absolute horror that awaited them, as they were soon faced with one of the most heartbreaking situations they've ever encountered.
Jesus Christ, you are fat as fuck.
Oh, douchebag.
What the fuck do you need all that toilet paper for? Like you actually wipe your ass? Remember to take this shit off the stove before you put it on. Okay?
Yeah.
You stupid fuck. When was this put here? You just,
A couple minutes
you
ago.
just leave your food. What do you sit on the floor and eat? Oh my god. Where's the Elvis wig? There's probably shit
In the
stains
back-
all over
in
that
the back
disgusting
cave.
fucking thing. Back up. What's with the fucking vacuum from 1970? Why do you even have it out? You know you don't even use the fucking thing. It's disgusting. Are you using these weights? All right, I gotta get out of here. My feet keep sticking to the fucking floor. Valerie, have an alcohol bath ready for me when I get home.
Brad's hilarious. The vlogs he did with Brad were always the best. Thanks, Bootycon.
There's evidence that during the fertile stage of a woman's cycle she wants more masculine face. They cheat on their betas and fuck Chad and alphas, cucking their beta male partners.
Yeah,
Females are evil.
so that is true, but women aren't on their menstrual cycle for the majority of the fucking time, so it doesn't really have a fucking effect on like dating preferences. Just doesn't. Thanks for the nation though, Turbo Black Pill, appreciate it.
The attractiveness of the male body odor. And do not laugh, because odor is important. Like women, if you do not like how your man naturally smells, you do not want to have children with him. You probably should not be with him. That is scientifically backed. And if you are on birth control, how you smell changes. So get off of it, see if you like how he smells, and then decide. Anyway, the men who were the healthiest, who ate the healthiest, worked out the most, apparently had the best natural musk, and they were ranked more attractive by the female judges in the study. Here's another piece measuring the refined carb intake and the impact on attractiveness. Like, there's so much research about this. The American diet is so bad. There's a reason why the majority of Americans are obese. It has been bad for at least a generation, if not more. And this has had an impact on our bodies and our perceived attractiveness. 50 years ago, Americans were healthier. Their diets were totally...
They weren't. Life expectancy was shorter, people lost their teeth earlier, they had higher likelihood of dying from heart disease, so that's not true. That's in large part due to smoking prevalence. So, no. Obesity is a big health issue, but people weren't really healthier before on average.
different.
Like, if you at least consider things like life expectancy.
They were less processed, and their food was actually still filled with nutrients versus just sugar.
I see that is a recent Jason vid. Any other new Jason Jennifer vids?
Yeah, so the guy Transform X Red, he does have a new cooking vid of Jason out. And we were gonna react to some more Jason vids at some point. But thanks for the donation, Sam.
And, red dye 40. But that is not all. In 2023, we are sadly fatter and paler, and our skin is not as plump and red. Our hair is not as healthy because that is also dictated by your diet. Our eyes are droopy from screens and sleep deprivation. Like, no wonder we are perceived as being less attractive than those people you see on those, 1950s Twitter accounts. But I'm not done. That is not all. Because our hormones are also out of whack, and that also impacts your quote-unquote attractiveness. And a lot of that actually comes from the water that we drink. And I know this sounds very overwhelming.
It does not. She's probably going to mention dropping male testosterone levels. That can be explained, I think, entirely from obesity prevalence and smoking prevalence. So what a lot of people don't realize is smoking raises your testosterone. Nicotine has a testosterone raising effect. So when you're looking at data from like the 1960s where people were intaking way more nicotine than they are now, that's going to actually have a pretty pronounced effect on your testosterone. It seems as though nicotine use raises both free and total testosterone by around 15 to 20%. It's a pretty substantive amount. So when you combine that with higher obesity rates, I think this is like overblown, like nothing burger. It's probably just people aren't smoking and they're also fatter. So you're seeing lower testosterone just due to that.
Overwhelming. Go out and buy a filter, even if you don't have like the fanciest one ever. Just a Brita will do. Like, at least take that step.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
Water was also mentioned in some of this man's videos. And last month, a huge bombshell study came out saying that nearly half of the tap water in the US is contaminated with forever chemicals, a government study finds. And this study really should not be groundbreaking at all, because there have been a lot of smart people.
Yeah, so these things like phthalates in drinking water and stuff like that, they're at such low concentrations, you wouldn't expect them to really have much of an effect on your endocrine system. Where you're actually seeing most of these, exposures to pollutants is in food. So if you eat a lot of meat, dairy, eggs, and fish, you're going to get a way higher level of exposure to these, forever chemicals or endocrine disrupting chemicals like phthalates.
People saying this for ages. That is why they've installed all these fancy filters in their homes, and they say, don't drink the tap water. But, now the government has told us that it actually is dangerous. And you know what these forever chemicals are? They are actually endocrine disruptors, and they take a toll on our hormones. And people used to think that these forever chemicals only lived in our plastic water bottles, but no, they are in our pipes and our tap water.
Yeah, again, like the exposure you're getting from a plastic water bottle, like it's nowhere near enough where you'd expect it to do anything to you. It's your food that you're going to see way higher concentrations of these chemicals.
Water
like
as well. This
of
is from
times
that CNN
higher.
article. PFAS are a family of ubiquitous synthetic chemicals that linger in the environment and in the human body. PFAS exposure is linked to problems like cancer, obesity, thyroid disease, high cholesterol, decreased fertility, liver damage, and hormone suppression, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Again, this is well documented. Your water bottle might be zapping your energy, libido, and fertility. Endocrine disruptors in water.
Nope, it's not.
Their effects on the reproductive system, reduced testosterone tied to endocrine disrupting chemical exposure. We don't even have time today.
Yeah, and you're getting most of that from meat, dairy, eggs, and fish.
To get into the scary lack of testosterone in today's world, but that is also real. I mean, that was on the original TikTok. Somebody commented and said there is this theory that there is less testosterone in males these days. The creator said that's not a theory. It is well documented. It is going down.
Yes, you definitely want to rely on a TikTok uploader for your information. Great research, Brett.
Very quickly. Now, like I said at the beginning, I do not mean for this to be all sad and doomsdayish. Or not pointing fingers and saying, we're all ugly and hopeless and the world is about to end. But the point here is that there is so much that we can do. Like study after study after study shows that attractiveness, perceived attractiveness, is connected to your internal health. The choices that you make every single day. So you control that. You control your diet and
yes, you should be healthier and all that, but she's promoting a fucking meat company. And then she's talking about health. One of her sponsors is like a fucking company that ships red meat. Like the worst type of meat for you. And then she's preaching about health. I've seen some of her vlogs where she shows what she eats. She actually kind of eats like crap, if that's any representation of her normal daily diet. She's eating like these big fucking sandwiches filled with bacon. Let's watch a Genova vid, since I think Sam wants to watch another Jason vid before we do the FauziTube thing.